listen long, long enough, you can love me. I'll be just yours. You can.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm starting a new series and this is my Zodiac series. So today, obviously, we are doing Scorpio. And the reason why I'm starting with Scorpio is because I am a Scorpio. So it's only right to wait until Scorpio season started. My birthday was November 1st, so I feel like I'm a true Scorpio. So today I'm going to be showing you how I got this look that was inspired by the zodiac sign Scorpio. So when I think of Scorpio, I think of dark, sultry, sexy, mysterious makeup. So that's why I went with a bold lip and a really bold eye. So I'm going to be continuing this series. So every month when a new zodiac starts, I will be doing a makeup tutorial and also we'll be talking about each sign. And some signs I feel more familiar with, obviously, like depending on, you know, if I've ever met that kind of sign or how many people I have of that sign around me. I don't want anyone to, you know, be offended by anything I say or just take anything too personal. I just take everything that I say with a grain of salt. I am not obviously a professional. I am just someone that is very intrigued by astrology, by zodiac signs. I do have books on zodiac signs and compatibility, and I just love everything about it. So Scorpios are actually fixed water signs. Everyone should look up their birth chart. So everyone has a sun, a moon, a rising, and a bunch of other signs in their chart. So I will leave the link down below. All you need to know is the exact time that you were born, the location, and it will calculate what other signs you have in your chart. So sometimes I'll talk about signs and I'll have someone say like, no, that's not like me at all. And yes, everyone is different, you know, depending on how you were raised, depending on where you were raised, and so many different factors go into, you know, personality and like, you know, experiences that can change your personality or the way you are. But also, the fact that you have different signs in your chart can also change things. So Scorpios have been compared to the ocean because we are so complex, and from a surface we are one thing, but deep down there is so much more to a Scorpio. So I feel like Scorpios can be judged the wrong way. A lot of people only see Scorpios for their negative traits, which are, you know, to be possessive, to be jealous, or to be territorial, or sometimes cold. But there are other traits to Scorpios. We are also extremely loyal. If we want, we can be very patient, persistent, work-oriented. We don't stop until we get something. So that can be a good and a bad thing, depending on who you are and how you take things. The way that I see myself as a Scorpio, I totally find myself like a true Scorpio. I kind of like to be in control of things, or I do like to be in control of things. I can be very emotional, but also very emotionless. And sometimes when I talk about zodiacs on Instagram or on Snapchat, you guys are like, really? I didn't see that from you. Like, you just seem so, you know, sweet. And I think that I have personally met two different types of Scorpios, and they say there's a head and a tail. My understanding, because I'm not gonna go based on just like what Google tells me, I'm gonna tell you what my personal understanding is. So I've always met two different types of Scorpios. One who is very quiet, observant, kind of like plotting, more of the dark-sided Scorpio, and then there's the overtly sweet, almost like too nice to people who get stepped on, you know, very like kind, bubbly, and social kind of Scorpio. And of course there's like a mix, you know, it's not one or the other, but usually one Scorpio will have one more of the other. So I find myself more on the like sweet and kind, but of course I still have a little bit of that don't hurt me because you won't want to see the end result. A Scorpio can be very sweet, but once someone crosses a Scorpio, you do not want to be on the other side, because we will either ignore you to death pretty much, or B, I've seen Scorpios get revengeful or, you know, kind of just walk away but have that last laugh and be like, haha, like I'll get them back. The other side really has to have tough skin in order to deal with a Scorpio, especially when seeing that like dark side, because it's not easy to deal with a Scorpio. And I think a lot of people know that already. Like, it's becoming more popular, like, oh my gosh, she's a Scorpio, she's crazy, or he's a Scorpio, stay away. But it's all about getting to know a Scorpio, because we have a lot more to us. I mean, we are loyal and faithful when we want to be. Scorpio, we can be extremely faithful. I'm that friend you want to call when something hits the fan. Like, I will be there. Like, I will take that next cab, train, plane, and be there for you. As long as there's respect, the feeling is mutual. We are, like, to me, the passion of the whole zodiac sign. I think growing up, most Scorpios, until they reach that maturity, and of course it's always going to be a learning process, right? We are very extreme. We're black or white, with love, with money, with anything. We are extremely tight with those who we love, and that's it. You know, we're not the type to have a million acquaintances. We're more the type to have a really small, like count on one hand kind of knit group, you know, that tribe, and still might not even trust everyone on that tribe. So it's true that we are very hard to trust. Like, we don't just trust anyone. I remember when I was younger, I'd always tell people, like, you're guilty until proven innocent, when it's supposed to be the opposite, right? You're innocent until proven guilty. But I feel like Scorpios, we just have our guard up, because it's true what they say, we kind of have like a sixth sense or like a third eye or something psychic, because we tend to have a lot of dreams, we tend to have a lot of daydreams or just like signs, and we are very good at, you know, pinpointing those signs and seeing things maybe that the other person might not be seeing. So like, I'm the type of friend that will tell you my blunt, honest truth. Scorpios can be very honest to the point of an extreme, like the other person might feel hurt, but it's always coming from a place of honesty, which for me is always coming from a place of love. Like, if I love you and I respect you, I'm gonna give you my honest truth, even if it hurts a bit, you know. Sometimes truth hurts, so I don't hold my tongue back for anyone. I'm not the type of person to bottle my emotions in. I don't think Scorpios really like to keep those emotions in. We are just very verbal. Like, we like to address situations, and if they cannot be addressed, we like to just leave the situation, or, you know, try our hardest. I think we're fighters, especially for love, but once we are not really into it, we're not into it at all. It's dead to us. The best way when I'm describing signs, like what I feel about them to other people, is to actually look at the actual symbol or the animal or whatever the zodiac is representing. The scorpion literally is a symbol of rebirth. So Scorpios tend to go through a really traumatic event, be heartbroken, because, you know, that trust that was earned, that little trust that we give to people was broken, and once it's broken, it's very hard for us to forget. It's like very rare. We can forgive, but we won't forget. So once we've kind of died from that experience, and it sounds so dramatic, but we are very dramatic, once we have died, we are born again. So it's kind of like a rebirth every single time we go through something very dramatic or very extreme, and then we move on from it and we become better and we learn from that experience. Instead of just staying crippled, we are actually being born again. And while you're in the process of that as a young Scorpio, you're not going to understand it until you're maturing, until you see, like, wow, I'm a completely new me. I'm changing every time I go through something. I'm not just letting it scar me. I'm actually a new person. I think Scorpios are portrayed as not friendly. I think we're actually extremely friendly, but at first we're just observant. We are huge on energies, and I'm only speaking for the ones that I know. Obviously, if you're a Scorpio and you're like, I don't believe in none of that, cool. But from what I've experienced and what I've read is that we are super big on auras and energies. So if I meet you and I'm very quiet, it's because I'm still trying to figure you out, and that's just like a defense mechanism. You know, we're not gonna just be super friendly to every single person, because that's how you get hurt. You really have to get to know someone in order to, you know, earn that trust. So we might seem a little bit mean or cold or, you know, put off when you first meet us, but you will know if a Scorpio really digs you or wants to be around you, because we're completely different once you earn that trust. We're super kind, you know, we'll give you the shirt off our back. We put you first than us. We're selfless. So once there's love there, or once there's a friendship, or once there's something there, we are willing to give you the world. But break that and then you broke it forever. So it's a lot. We're complicated. Like, if we really are into it, there's nothing that can stop us. And the same with love or anything. We will get what we want. We are that determined. Some famous Scorpios: Leonardo DiCaprio, Hillary Clinton, Ryan Gosling, Anne Hathaway, Bill Gates, Caitlyn Jenner. We are a fixed sign, and our strengths are being resourceful, brave, passionate, stubborn, and true friends. We are the most sensual sign of the zodiac. We do get pinned that. Most people, if they don't even know anything about zodiacs, they're like, Scorpio? Oh, she a freak. I posted something on Instagram saying, like, what's the worst sign you've ever dated? And a lot of people said Scorpio, and I was kind of taken back, but there's an explanation for that. And this this is gonna be very honest, but if the Scorpio is not that into you, there's bound to be hurt. And I think that goes for anyone, right? When someone truly falls in love, that's when there's truly love there, and it's gonna be a completely different experience. You falling for a Scorpio and them not falling for you back can be completely a terrible thing, but if a Scorpio falls in love with you and you are in love with them, it can be so amazing, because we are water, we are love, we are passion, we are extreme devotion. You know, we want to take it to the next level. We like companionship, we like commitment, but we have to want that, you know what I mean? So I think that's where it's a little tricky. Another thing is Scorpios tend to be kind of like frugal but good with money. So we know what it takes to get the, you know, money or career or whatever, you know, possessions. We know how to get there, and we know that that road is a very lonely road, and we will just not stop until we get it. So I think just with anything, when we put our heads to something, we're gonna get it and we're gonna do it, and nobody is gonna stop us from doing that. Nobody. So usually a Scorpio, they say, are compatible with Taurus because they are complete opposites. So we are water and an earth sign is earth, so they are going to give you a good balance, like a yin to the yang, complete opposites that can work. But also Cancer, because they're both water signs and because they will understand each other better. So an opposite kind of relationship, it may take more work. It'll take more work because you're still getting to know that person, because they're completely different. They work completely differently than you. But I find that Scorpios also get along very well with water signs because they understand us. So if I'm having an emotional moment, another water sign will completely understand, because they too are very passionate. So Pisces and Cancer will understand a Scorpio. Now, the Scorpio is very feisty and very, you know, can be very attitudey sometimes. So it's kind of like working around that. So that's why I think Taurus also works very well with the Scorpio, because they have that patience that we need, that we lack sometimes. Most of the time, the Scorpio will be very impatient, except when it comes to matters of their own. So like if it's something that I really want, I'll be patient, but 9 out of 10, I'm very impatient. So I think what complements me the best is someone who is extremely loyal, extremely patient, forgiving, and just grounded, because I'm all over the place. I'm artsy, I'm fire, I'm love, I'm passion, and then the other person has to kind of like balance me out, like tone me down, because if not, if it's two of that, it can get crazy, right? Two crazy tempers can get really, really crazy really fast. I have a Scorpio parent. My father is a Scorpio, and growing up, I was shown like the deepest love, and still to this day, I'm still his precious baby girl. Like, because he's a Scorpio, he feels so deeply with me, you know, like he feels connected, and he has shown me so much devotion since day one and will drop anything for me. And of course, every parent should, but a Scorpio parent is extremely attached, and it can be possessive and controlling, so they have to kind of learn to work with that. So if you want me to do another video like more in depth about science, I totally can, because I love talking about it. It's something that I'm very passionate about. I love watching tarot card readings. I love just to research it, because again, I'm a very obsessive kind of person. When I find something that I really want to look into, I will completely wrap my whole head around it. So shout out to all my Scorpios. If you're a Scorpio, leave me a little scorpion emoji so I know it's real. But obviously I want everyone to just kind of watch all of the videos, even if it's not your sign, just because, you know, it's always good to learn about other signs as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump into this tutorial that for me really represents Scorpio, because it's sexy, it's sultry, it's mysterious, it's captivating. We have that tough factor, so that's why I wanted to go with a deep lip and a dark eye. But we also are very feminine at the same time. Like, we like leather jackets and like leather everything and all black everything. Like, Scorpios tend to wear all black and be, you know, black hair and just black from head to toe, but also still be super girly and like gold accessories and like pink flowers and white flowers. So we have that feminine quality, but also that like masculine, strong, I ain't taking nobody's shit kind of quality. So we are that feisty fireball of energy. So I had to, of course, start off with Scorpio. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the tutorial. Hey guys, so I'm starting off with the Farsali Rose Gold Oil for some hydration, and then I'm jumping into the Huda Beauty Marvelous Mauves palette, and I'm taking that white bone shade just all over my lid to set the primer. Next, I'm going into the Warm Browns palette, and I'm taking this nice light neutral brown, and I'm applying that to my transition area with a Smith fluffy brush, and I'm just applying this kind of like as a marker to where I'm applying the darker shades. So back into the Marvelous Mauves, I'm going in with this kind of like rosé pink shade. It's super unique. I don't have anything like that. And I'm just applying that right over the neutral brown. And now we're going in with the really dark, deep, kind of like burgundy shade. And I'm just applying that really closely into that crease, right into that eye socket with a Wayne Goss brush. You want to use a nice tight brush, and these shadows are super pigmented, so you want to take a clean brush, just always have it on hand to really blend these out because they are extremely pigmented. So next I'm going to take a MAC 217 with the other burgundy shade in the palette. It's a little bit lighter, it's a little bit more like rosy, and I'm applying that all over my lid. And I did have a little bit of fallout, but actually just on one eye. Taking a crease brush, just kind of defining that crease a little bit more, and then wiping away the excess. Now I'm taking a black Pat McGrath pencil liner, and I'm going to kind of smudge that along my lash line. I'm not doing a wing liner. I just want like bold makeup, bold lashes. Taking that dark brown that's in the Huda palette on another Wayne Goss brush, and I'm just applying that to the outer V, and then again another clean brush, always to just blend out the edges. Some Tarte Mascara, and then I'm going to jump into the Farsali Unicorn Essence. I'm going to use this kind of like as my all-over primer. Creates a nice sticky base for foundation. And then the Smashbox Pore Minimizing Mattifying Primer for my more porous areas. For lashes, I went with Lilly Lashes Miami because these are pretty dramatic and fluffy and really, really long, but they still let your eyeshadow peek through. So I thought these were perfect. They're very unique. And then for my foundation, I went with my go-to combo, which is L'Oreal Pro Matte Infallible in 105, and then the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless. So I love these two together. They really balance each other out very nicely. Nice matte finish, but not too matte where it's drying on my skin because I have dry skin. So I'm just blending that with a beauty blender. And for concealer, I'm going to be a little high maintenance, and I'm going to use two different shades. I'm using light neutral and then light sand. Light sand is a lot lighter, a lot more yellow, and then light neutral to balance it out. And then for the nose, I'm doing NARS Custard Concealer. We're going all the way in today, so I'm using Clinique foundation stick in Gargantuan Golden to cream contour. And then we're going to just blend everything out with that same beauty blender. And I really wanted a really bright under eye to balance the smokiness that we're going to have on our eyes, underneath our eyes. Notice how I also smoked out the eyeshadow outwards, kind of past my eyebrow, because I really want this look to be smoky. To blend the cream contour, I'm using the MAC Short Handle Duo Fiber brush, and I love this for the cream contour. And then to set my under eye, I'm using Dermablend powder. For an actual powder contour, I'm going in with Huda from Benefit, and I'm using a Zoeva Luxe Contour Brush for a nice chiseled cheek. I really wanted structure. And then for a bronzer, I'm going in with the Estee Lauder Victoria Beckham bronzer, and I'm just kind of applying that where I usually bronze, my temples, right over the contour, just for some added color. For my waterline, I'm not doing brown, I'm actually doing black, which is a lot more sexy, like sultry, smoky, and that one's from Pat McGrath. Here, I'm just wiping away that Dermablend translucent powder. I don't really bake for too long because I don't want it to look too dry, so I'm just wiping that away. And now we can go into the burgundy shades that we use on our lids, underneath our eyes. I'm using a Kat Von D brush, and I'm really going to smoke that bad boy out. I really want this to be super sultry, so don't be afraid to take that color really low. Took that same white shade from the Huda palette into my brow bone and also in my inner corners. And here I'm applying some black shadow, which I couldn't find in the Huda palette, so I just took the Pat McGrath black shadow, and I'm just applying that right underneath my lash line for some extra sultriness, some extra smokiness. For my brows, I'm going back in. You know me, I like to touch them up. I'm using Benefit, the precisely my brow pencil in number 5. And then here I'm just brightening a little bit more underneath my eyes with a Marc Jacobs powder. It's a nice yellow powder. Contouring my nose with the Estee Lauder bronzer with the Luxie brush, some MAC Fix Plus because I put a lot of powder on. And then that's when I like to do my lower lash mascara after Fix Plus. For highlight, I'm first using Mirabella Swirling Pearl. Love this stuff, and I'm putting that also on my nose. But I want to add a little bit blush after because I want it to kind of blend a little more. So I'm using MAC Desert Rose right on top. And for an extra added highlight bonus, we're using Fuego from Desi Katie Dose of Colors collection. And I'm using a Sephora highlighting brush. And I'm really, really highlighting just kind of towards my temples, not my whole cheek. For a lip liner, I'm using MAC Night Moth. I haven't used this in so long and I missed it, and I really wanted a deep, deep lip. So I love this one. It's perfect. And then for my actual lip color, I'm using this one from Galactic, and it's super pretty, and it's like a berry color. It's not too dark. I didn't want anything too dark because the eyes are pretty dark, but it just complements the look so well. I like these cranberry tones, especially for fall. So that's pretty much it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys thought. Don't forget to leave me a Scorpio emoji if you're a Scorpio, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys. Mwah.